Kalimera. I think that's good morning in Greek to all my Greek followers over in Greece. Bit international now on YouTube, worldwide. Yeah, Phil Beckwith back with a papering video again because we're on a roll with papering this morning. So that's the Kalimera. I think it's Kalimera. Is it Kalimera? It is Kalimera. You pronounce it Kalimera. Interesting one. Always do interesting stuff. Super wide. Look at this. Look at this. Can't even get it on the camera. Let's see if we can zoom in. There you go. Look at this. This is just over a metre wide wallpaper. Luxury vinyl. We could call it luxury vinyl. It's still a non-woven. And on the instructions, I've got the, if you want to know what it is, it's that. Zoom in on that. I think you can see it. It's 10 metres long and it's just over, it's 1.06 metres wide. So how do we tackle this then, Phil? Right, paste the wall. It says on there, paste the wall or paste the paper. Now, if I was on a job where I'm doing quite a bit of this, because this is only one wall and a return, if I was on a big job, whereas a lot of this has been done, I've got the extra wide paste table. You might have seen it on my Instagram. But for this one, it does say paste the wall. And for ease, to make it easy for me, I will paste the wall. So what I'm doing is cutting the lengths off as I need, i.e. cutting a roll up to the lengths that I need and then hanging one roll at a time. Because I'll paste the wall and hang it one at a time. So I don't need to be pasting 2 or 3. Now on the instructions, it does say you can either paste the paper, paste the wall. It's dry strippable, which makes me think definitely a non-woven, because when I've ripped a corner you can see the little fibres. And then the other thing is it's a washable paper, and it also says it's good light fast, good for light fastness, so it's not going to fade if the sun's on it. So how do we tackle this? Got my laser line, you can see it's just down below me there. Now I like working right to left, but I can also work left to right. But on this one, because I've measured it out, I need 3 rolls, and I've allowed 3 drops per roll for this, because you don't know what the tolerance is going to be when you've got pattern matching. Now this is a pattern match, believe it or not. I don't know if you can see that. This has got a pattern match of 60 centimeters straight through pattern match. Always read your label. It's got a straight through emblem there. 60 centimeters. Now what I'm going to do, I've already offered it up against the wall because I'll work from this angle. I've already offered it up there, and I've done 3 marks with a pencil. One there, and one below. And that shows me where the end of the roll will be if I hung directly to the corner. You don't really always want to hang directly to the corner, because if the corner ran out, what's your end going to do? That's going to run out. So what I've done, I've marked it 3 spots, got the laser line on it, and I'm shocked because the laser liner tallies up with all 3 marks. So of all this house, this is the first corner that I've found that is actually true. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to paste that section and literally hang it into the corner, checking the end there, making sure that that's still plumb with either your plumb line or you can use your laser liner, and I'll work from that. So that's quite a simple one to hang for this first one. Paste the wall, get it on, trim it at the top, trim it at the bottom, get it all down, wipe the edges. Job's a good one. That's that. What I want to show you is how I'm cutting these lengths. So if I say bye for now, have a little bit of a 15-minute intro, because we're 5 minutes in. 15 minute, you'd love that, wouldn't you? 15-second Phil Beckwith decorator intro while I go and get me stuff sorted out in the other room, and I'll show you. So bye-bye. So I'm back with you. This is an empty room, and what I've done, I've got some clean dust sheets down, and I've literally got the roll out and rolled it out and measured, because my measurement for the floor to the ceiling, skirting board to the ceiling, roughly 2.2-ish. So I've allowed 100mm for a tolerance, couple of inch top and bottom, and then I've measured off, let's for ease, let's call it 2.3 meters. So I've measured one roll off, one length off the roll at 2.3. Now, because this hadn't pattern match, I've obviously had to get the second length all geared up to pattern match, which I have done. And if I come over here, you can see me. I can see a pattern running through on every length. So I know I've actually got the pattern matching up. Off a roll, I've managed to cut 4 lengths. That's just how it's worked with the patterning. But interestingly, as I've pulled the first length off, there was a good 1.3 meters that seemed not damaged, but where they shrink wrap the paper, here's a roll, where they shrink wrap it, where the actual end of the paper is, I don't know whether you can see that because it blends in, that's put an indentation into a good 1.3 meters worth of the paper. Now I'm a little bit apprehensive to use that first length. Now this is why I always try and measure as 3 lengths to a roll, because if there is any problems with papers like that, at least you can cut it out. So what I've done, I've cut 4 to that roll, and I'm going to use the 3 good lengths. Now the length that's, I don't want to call it damaged, because it's not damaged, it's just an indentation. But what I don't want to do is get it on the wall, and then when it dries you can still see that indentation. So because there's enough paper for me allowing 3 to a roll, and we've cut 4, I can actually allow that waste to be pushed to one side. Follow me? Yeah. So there we go. I've shown you how to cut the length. That's just mark it off, roll it out, fold it on itself, make sure you crease it edge to edge, mark it down, then you can cut it. It's not rocket science to cut these sorts of lengths. Just line it up, fold it, crease it, cut it, job's a good one. And then what I'm going to do now is start getting some paper on. So this is probably 10 minutes of telling you how to tackle and hang a really wide paper. What we'll do, once I've got some on, I'll film what I've done and then you can just see it. So keeping it short and sweet on this one. Extra wide paper, don't be frightened of it. Make sure you get all the air bubbles out. Use your hanging brush. Also use your squeegee spatula and a straight edge for cutting top and bottom. And the key to it is always having a sharp blade. Make sure your blades are always sharp, snap them off. And if you're using shears, because sometimes you do need shears, whether it be cutting into corners or up to an angle, make sure they're all clean, because if they've got a bit of paste on them, don't cut so well. So that's it. Oh, got a joke for you. What word begins with E, ends in E, and only has 1 letter in it? Do you know what it is? Begins with E, ends in E, and only has 1 letter in it. Comments below. Comments below. Or shall I tell you it's an envelope? Yeah, envelope. Kids jokes, love it. Right, see you on the next one. Wanted to probably show you when I've got a few lengths on, but I don't want to show you how to paste it and hang it, because it's like all the other ones I've done. Thank you. Bye. Comments. There we have it. First length on. And I was right, it did. Oh, come on, too much light. That angle was actually quite good. Getting it plumb with the plumb line there was quite nice. There was just a little bit top and bottom that tapered off with the plastering, so it was a fraction, literally a fraction, couple of millimeters I just trimmed off to neaten that internal angle all the way down there. But other than that, I don't know whether you can see, that paper's gone on nicely. A tip of this, make sure when you paste in the wall, put plenty on. Don't over roll your paste, make sure you've got plenty on so you can slide and manipulate, because I did have to just bump it across to get onto that laser liner line. going across there. You can see me horizontal going. I don't actually need, turn that off. I don't actually need, oh, I've moved it. I don't actually need that horizontal on there for now. But what I'll do, I'm going to paste the next one, and it's the same principle. Just line it up with your paper because there is that pattern match. You should be able to see it. Just hang it, squeegee it out, brush it out, chop it in at the top with your spatula. Make sure you get all the air bubbles out. Trim it nicely with your straight edge. Job's a good one. And then we'd come up onto a door frame, which I'm going to do in one because I don't want to have any joints on it. Tricky. I'll do it in one. I've allowed for it, so it's all in one go. So yeah, that's it. See you later. I said I'd come back to you when I've got a bit more on. And I've got a bit more on. Don't worry, this is the last instalment on this because I'm not telling you how to paste paper and hang wallpaper. From that corner, I brought it all the way along. 2 drops that metre wide, well, just over a metre wide, brought me just over this door frame. So the next piece, as I said to you, I'd be taking that in one because I didn't want to be doing any joint, butting up, splicing or anything. So just what I wanted to say to you is, I came over the top, hung in one piece and then trimmed to the internal frame just so I'd got enough salvage, and then manipulated my corners, got it all manipulated. That sounds a bit bad, doesn't it? But trimmed my corners so I got it all the way in. Now, I'm a big advocate. I ought to be sponsored by a laser liner as well. I got the laser liner because as I came from the top, you'll see, as I came from around the top, when you start getting this drop that's quite a narrow drop from that corner architrave, that edge there can start going out if you don't keep it plumb. So I knew I was alright at the top because I couldn't do much about it. It was plumb butting up, came to the top, and I made sure that I got my laser liner lined up at the top with the line all the way down. And when I came to hang or drop that piece down, well, it was already dropped, but get it in place, I made sure that that edge of the paper was matching the laser liner. Now I know that any subsequent paper lengths going from there will still keep being true and plumb. That makes sense, doesn't it? So don't just let it go and think, oh, that's it, just hang it, let the weight of the paper hang and you'll be vertical. It doesn't always work like that. So get your plumb bob on it, get your laser on it and plumb it in, and then work from that. Now another thing with that laser liner, this is a bit of a swine of a paper to keep the match following it round. Now if I'd say a left and a right paper, or a right to left, because I'm working right to left, I could see where I wanted the mark for lining up for the next length. Now I got the laser liner on the horizontal to line up with that, and I could just move it up to the top and do it as well. So the laser liner on a vertical then a horizontal can help you keep in that match. You could also put a little pencil mark on it, but it depends on your paper whether you'll see it or not. But if that helps you lining it up, put a little pencil mark so you know where they're lining up. But the laser liner also helps you if you know what you're looking for. So on that note, let's call it a day. I don't want to tell you about hanging anymore because they're just straight drops. All I will say is, no, it's been lined. 800 lining paper, because we've got a paper going over the top. 800 lining paper. The lining paper's been hung with the same paste that I'm using, which is, I don't want to tell you what paste I'm using. Comments below if you know what paste I'll be using. Ought to be sponsored by Wix, shouldn't I? Forget Porsche, because Porsche aren't ringing me at the minute. Wix are the ones that should be sponsoring me with paste. Oh, I've just told you it is. But no, paste the wall. I've used Wix paste as well. So this paper's being hung by Wix paste and it's doing well. I've not thinned it, it's straight out the tub, rolling it, brushing it, and I can manipulate it and move it into place. As I said in the last segment, make sure you put enough on, don't over roll it and brush it out. But that's it. 800 lining, Wix paste, and I'm putting the finished paper on over the top. And this paper's from Today Interiors. They're out at Lincolnshire, Grantham, other side of Grantham. So if anybody's interested, Today Interiors does this paper. So let's call it a day at that. I'll crack on. You don't need to say any more. This is just a quick 15-minute talking Wide Wallpapers. So thanks for listening. Bye bye.